Yeah, CP Edit, it's called. Yeah, and then I used the firmware that came with that, and I used the CP editor for the code plug, and then I just downloaded the firmware. That firmware has been the best, and like I say, and then you fool around. I've fooled around a little bit with some of the settings and some of the display options, and so far, I mean, I'm not 100% sure what they do by the way they're described. They're not described, but the way they're named, and it's been the most intuitive so far. It's, you know, the other ones I found they wasted a bit of time. They were a bit frustrating.
Well, the one I got on through that program, but I might have loaded a different firmware with it. So I've done that. I've done it at different times in different ways. But the one I got in it now works probably the best of them all. It does have absolutely every bit of the information. When you come up, it has, you know, the talk group that we're on. It has the color code. It has the time slot. It has everything documented on the front of the screen. You can read absolutely everything. So it is good. It's really good. That one is good.
There seems to be so many different hardware versions of the radios too. Like my one's one of the earlier ones, and I never could figure out. They when they write the software, they say it's good for this hardware, it's good for that hardware. Well, I don't know what hardware version mine is. There's nothing that says hardware version. I know the serial number of the radio, but there's nothing on it that I just know it's apparently. There's a version 14, which is newer, quite a bit more recent. I know mine's not that because, like I say, I've had this probably a good 5 years. And, you know, so I was writing a lot of those quirks off to just different hardware versions, and mine might have been, you know, so that's why I was tolerating some of the glitches. But so that could be the difference too, you know, that firmware may work differently on both may behave differently because we both have different hardware versions, possibly, because it looks like they revised this thing about 12 times.
I have the same problem. I have DC3, I think. 03? I think it's DC03 version. I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's where I am. I'm a long ways back.
One of the first versions, because, like I say, they weren't really widespread yet, you know, and I just happened to, I'd read about them and heard about them through the forums, but I'd never seen one. Nobody around here had any, and I just happened to be in Dayton, and there was a stack of them, and I didn't really set out to buy one, but there was a stack of them literally in front of my face. They were stacked like 7 feet tall, just for $80 US, you know. So I think with a mic and the mic was like $13. The extended battery was this, and it was like, holy mackerel, okay. So for well under $100, including taxes, I had this radio, and I've never given it up, even though it just sat collecting dust for years, because I always knew there would be the day like today where I'd be able to load something in it like this, and I'd be happy with it, because it was the first radio to offer promiscuous mode, which meant you could hear it was like the Digimonitor, you know, you could hear anything, like the Alinco, instead of just your talk group. So I'd always wanted that function. Of course, now it's available on all the other radios, but still pretty cool. So anyways, yeah, the journey continues. More experimentation.
In your Pi-Star too, you can enable the through the DMR gateway. You can enable the XLX reflectors. So if you enable that through your Pi-Star, then all you do is make a dummy channel with a private call channel or a group call channel. You can do either one of those. So that way, if somebody says you want to go to such and such a talk group, you just have to go to that dummy channel and hit the bottom, the pound key on the bottom left, and that will open up the channel that you're on, right? So then you just go down and you edit the number, and you just put the number of the talk group you want to go to, you key it up, and you're on it. That's how easy it is to go to a different talk group.
Yeah, no, that's good. I see when I hit the pound here, it opens up a little green. 78, it's holding the 0, and then I can ad hoc enter a talker. Yeah, no, that's good. That's the next thing is I want to dig deeper into. Well, I've stumbled across a few little things just in problem solving, but now I heard there's a PyStar 4 version software. I think I'll upgrade to that, which I think is just a matter of just upgrading in the user interface. And I want to start really digging into PyStar because there's so much in there. So I'm sure I could figure it out, but I just need to read up. And, you know, the information's all scattered all over the place, but I'm sure there's there's a few things I want to try with PyStar. And I've got my Fusion handheld and my D-Star handheld too. I'd like to get those working because they were good radios, and I'd like to get those working on the hotspot too. So I want to see what I can do with that. So that'll be next, I think. With all this, the way this summer's going, I think I'll have a little more time for that.
Yeah, the PyStar 4, we've got another image. So you have to download the image. You can download right now 4.1, and then once you have that loaded on there, then you can update it to the 4.11. So, and it actually has a manager in there. I don't know a lot about it. I just know that it's there where you can manage different modes, and you can use your YSF and your D-Star. No, not D-Star. YSF and DMR. It has a data manager right in that. So apparently it's supposed to make it really easy for the YSF.
Okay. Have you? Okay, because I've got three hotspots. One's my portable one. Hasn't been getting much use because that's my travel one. But I've got two that I run. So I'll probably take the one up. That's my secondary hotspot that I use mostly for Scotland and Europe. And what I'll do is I'll try uploading that then. Okay, yeah. That was going to be my next question. If it was just download another image, then that's fine. I got a spare card for it, so I can always just come right back. So, have you done the 4?
The weekends out, I should have my cards, and I don't have any spare cards. I don't even have a SD writer. So everything I've had to do, I've just done it through the internet and on the dashboard. So I'm as far as I can go without recutting the new image, and I've ordered the stuff, and it should be here by the end of the week, by the end of the week or the first of next week. I don't think. Yeah, I think it's actually shipped now, so it's on its way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got a couple card readers, but I was using them for other stuff. My dash cam, I think my two handhelds have SD cards in them. The one for my ICOM and my Fusion Yaesu both had SD cards in them. My scanner also, my Whistler scanner also has SD cards. So I was using these SD cards quite a bit. So I've got a couple of little pocket readers, and then I think I've got one of my computers. I think one of my MacBooks, I think, has a reader built into it. I think, it has the SD card, and then I just put it in an adapter. So yeah, there's about 5 different ways of doing it. So that's fine. Okay, well that's good. I was having trouble with SD cards. I was getting burned by counterfeit ones, and I've had a bunch go weird on me, and I lost a lot of time over those. So I ended up upgrading and buying the platinum ones, and I test them all now. I log on to the website because I got some counterfeit SanDisk ones. But you can go on to the SanDisk website and you can send them a message, and they'll tell you if it's counterfeit or not, and it was. So back to Amazon it went, and then I ordered some real ones. So once I got upgraded to instead of the most basic SD cards, and I got the platinum ones that photographers use and stuff, I've never had an SD card corrupt on me since. But I was getting too many crashes before, and I've got 3 Raspberry Pis here running 24/7. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was really getting to be a pain in the neck.
Yeah, I think Alan put a post on the webpage, Ham Radio Rookies, a webpage to do with that the manager that's in PyStar. I think he did. I'm gonna look here right now. But anyway, there's information on there that talks about doing stuff with the PyStar as well as the radio. So that's kind of what we're doing there on Monday nights. We're just getting people to move from one spot to another. Now, I seen you on the group last night, or on 3023 last night, just before the net started, but you didn't check in. I thought you would have. I actually called you because I seen your call sign on the display.
Oh, darn. Okay, that could have been a timing issue. I was just moving all around, experimenting, doing stuff, playing with genealogy. So I was doing all kinds of stuff, so I might have missed it. Lately with the talk groups being so busier, I haven't had the radios on scan as much anymore. So I might have just been a moment of timing where I missed it, because if I'd have heard it, I would have checked in.
John. Well, no, I don't see the thing about the manager, but I think he talks about it. I think it actually in the upgrade thing for PyStar does show the upgrade where you can get the 4.1. It's actually on the PyStar voice software page on their UK page, I believe, is where it actually is.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I usually start out there, and then sometimes I get some additional information. But yeah, I haven't done anything with PyStar. Has been so solid, I haven't done much to it. Probably in quite a few months, maybe 5 or 6 months. So it's just been running so nicely. So I will, and the network's been running nicely too. Everything's been just working nicely. I've upgraded some of my cellular stuff here, or my internet cellular stuff. I got that cell phone booster from Ewan, which made a huge difference in all my internet. So everything's been better. I haven't had a problem. So that is going to be my next thing, will be PyStar 4. That might even happen before this weekend is out as well. Now that I've kind of gotten the radios where I want them, just code plug editing. I could spend a year editing code plugs, because I'm doing a few for a few people, so trying to bring everything up to the same level. But that's about it. So yeah, well, that's good. Well, it sounds like you've really dove into this, and I knew you would. I figured once we got that little nudge, you'd be head over heels into it, which is good. Glad.
Radios 2 DMRs. I only got DMR, but yeah, it talks about the YSF link manager. After a conversation with Jonathan, he's very kindly added a remote control support to gateway apps, such as the target can be controlled by a command line. So it's now working on YSF link manager, and it can be swapped to active groups without needing to restart the service. So that actually can be changed right in the PyStar dashboard from what I'm seeing here. So if you want to switch from one spot to another, you can just open the dashboard and switch it and go with YSF. I think that's what it is. I don't understand it fully, but that's just a quick paragraph that's reading there. So there's probably more on it. It actually, Alan did put that on the PyStar upgrade on our Ham Radio Rookies page. So that's on there.
Those 2 radios I got were good radios, and they weren't cheap. They were higher end Yaesu and Icons, and really good front ends on them. great FM radios and shortwave receivers and AMDX receivers in them and everything. So, and I got all the accessories with them when I got them, and they've served me well. So, but now I haven't been using them since I've been, because they don't do DMR. But if I can make use of them on, and learn, I just wanted to learn fusion and learn. Like I did D-Star quite a bit when I got it, and that was the first digital mode I got into. So I took that as far as it was okay at the time. I didn't mind it. It wasn't as good it didn't handle weak signal stuff as well as DMR. So that's what drove me over to DMR, and I just abandoned D-Star. But now that hotspots and stuff exist, it'll take it. And now if you can switch them on the fly that way, or, I've even got, like I say, I've got 2 hotspots that I leave on. And I could always have one set to one mode and the other set to the other. So, and the fact that people are talking to each other across these platforms is nice too. I didn't like it so much before the cross-linking started. Now that there's cross-linking and you can still get on Ontario and stuff with Fusion, I think it's great. So, all the more reason I want to get into it. So much to do in so little time. That's one thing about this hobby. You're never bored.
Get into this talk group with your D-Star radio. You just go in via way of 302D, XLX 302D on the D-Star radio, or you can come in on Peanut. There's no problem there. Or you can go in the YSF room 77353. 353. So this talk group here actually has P25 and XDN as well on here. It has all modes. You can get into this pretty much with all modes. So it's pretty handy. So no matter if you don't have a DMR radio, you can still get into a lot of DMR places. So and join that group via way of a different. Different. Not all. I don't want to say. They don't have a term for it yet. It's a talk group, but it's a XLX room. It's a YSF room, but it's a group. It's a array, I guess. Maybe the word they use for it. I don't know. But anyway, so you can get into it on any mode, no matter what radio you got. So if you got a D-Star or you got a YSF or DMR, you have no problem getting into them to those particular rooms. So that's kind of what we're doing in the Ham Radio Rookies. I told them, I keep telling Alan, I said sooner or later I'm not going to be here to do the nets. But anyway, he just keeps telling me, you keep doing them.
Yeah, might as well while you're off, and then soon your world's going to change real quick, and it's probably not that long from now. But I remember the XRF. They were called reflectors, anyways. That's why they called them but they were XRF ones. There was regular reflectors, and then there was these XRX ones that were just popping up on D-Star. So I came into those through the D-Star side, and I remember they were doing some neat things, and there were some interesting conversations on there. And I'd like to do Peanut. I've installed Peanut on an Android tablet I've got, and I've got a bunch of Android cell phones that people have given to me when they've upgraded, especially the older people that couldn't handle the Android. So when they went to their Macs, or Apples, they gave me their old phones. So I have a few Samsung Galaxy type phones or whatever they are in a drawer too that I'm going to revive and use for Peanut. Just for on the Wi-Fi in the house here. So that's my next thing, because the last few Peanut sounded horrible in the beginning, but now there's a couple of people I've spoken to, and I had no idea they were coming in on Peanut. They were just as good as you and I are talking, and I thought, whoa, that has really jumped ahead pretty far, pretty fast. So I wouldn't mind doing that, just to have it in my pocket for traveling, or just, as another option.
Well, we actually there's an article that that Alan posted too on the Facebook page as well, which talks about the reflectors, the XRF, the DCS, and XLX. So it actually tells you what the difference is. Actually, all it is basically is a progression. progression of how they're doing things. So it's just, like in the first days it was just reflectors, and then they changed it and they did the RXX or RFX or XRF. Sorry, I'll get it there. And then the DCS and then XLX. So it's just all that is a progression of the same basic thing. So there's an article there to read on it anyway on the Facebook page as well.
Well, that'd be good, yeah, because I last left off when XRFs were coming in, and I was scanning those and listening to conversations on them and talking to people across mode with those. But they were still a little finicky at the time, so I didn't do too much with them. But I was just listening mostly because but people were experimenting and pounding away at it, and I could tell they were improving it every bit along the way. There was a few people here in Toronto that really got into D-Star and Ramish or whatever, and he was doing stuff, and he had his own things. He was hosting resources locally that people were using worldwide, so it got pretty intriguing, man. So now, and then when, DMR Mark came out, that Motorola Amateur Network, they had